My name is Amber, and at 29 I thought I finally had my life figured out. I was a marketing director in the city, living in a cozy apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the skyline. To the outside world I looked successful, independent, and happy. But my past held scars most people couldn't see. When I was 25, I met Mark at a friend's party. He was tall, funny, and the kind of man who made everyone in the room feel like the most important person. I was swept off my feet. 6 months later I walked down the aisle, convinced I had found my forever. But forever lasted only 3 years. After the wedding, Mark changed. He fell in with a group of friends who spent more time drinking than working. Slowly, the laughter and affection I once knew were replaced with shouting, slammed doors, and long nights where I lay awake, wondering when he'd stumble through the door. One night, he came home well past midnight, eyes glassy, and admitted he'd been fired. My patience, stretched thin for months, finally snapped. I told him I wanted a divorce. That's when his anger boiled over. The man I once loved grabbed me in a rage. I still remember the shock more than the pain, the disbelief that this was happening. That night I packed a bag, ran to my best friend Kelly's apartment, and called the police. My wrist was sprained, my body bruised, but my spirit felt shattered. The divorce was fast. The judge mandated anger management classes for him, and just like that, Mark was gone from my life, or so I thought. During this time my family, my parents Robert and Susan, and my younger sister Lily, rallied around me. Or at least that's what I believed. They helped me through the legal mess and comforted me in those dark months. But my family had always leaned on me too. My dad's hardware store barely broke even, my mom's library job paid little, and Lily, at 26, often complained about money. I was the one who covered surprise bills, car repairs, and even Lily's dental work. I told myself it was fine. I loved them and family helps family. By the time a year had passed, I felt stronger. I started going to therapy, focusing on my career, and even said yes when my mom suggested a family vacation. 2 weeks in Florida, she said brightly. Just us, the ocean and sunshine. I booked the flights, hotels, everything. For the first time in years, I looked forward to a true break. But a single dinner at my parents' house changed everything. My mom made lasagna, my favorite, so I knew something serious was coming. As I sat at the table, Lily beamed and flashed a diamond ring. "I'm engaged," she squealed. I congratulated her warmly. Until she said his name. I sat frozen, fork halfway to my mouth, staring at Lily's ring. "Mark," I repeated, my voice breaking. "As in my Mark." Lily nodded proudly. "He's changed, Amber. He's sober, responsible, and he loves me. We've been dating for 3 months." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I reminded them of what he had done, of the police report, the bruises, the hospital visit. But my mom just sighed and called it an exaggeration. My dad looked away, unable to meet my eyes. Then Lily said the words that cut deeper than anything Mark had ever done. "He told me you hit him, that you made him defend himself." I laughed bitterly, though it wasn't funny. "Lily, I'm 5'4" and weigh 110 pounds. Mark is over 6 feet tall. You honestly believe that?" She crossed her arms, smirking. "Yes, 'cause he's honest with me. Not like you." My hands trembled as I tried to explain, but it was useless. They had already decided to side with him. And then came the final blow. "We've made some changes to the vacation," my mom said softly. "Mark will be joining us. Since you don't want to come if he's there, we'll give your ticket to him. Could you just rebook the hotel so he and Lily can share a room?" That was the moment I realized my family wasn't just blind. They were betraying me. They had chosen him, my abuser, over me. I left their house in a daze. But by the time I got home, shock turned to anger. 4 years I had been their safety net, the one who paid when they couldn't. And now, they expected me to finance a vacation for the man who had hurt me. I opened my laptop and canceled everything. Flights, hotels, car rentals, all gone. I sent screenshots to the family group chat with one message. Vacation plans cancelled. All reservations were in my name, so they're void. Have a great June. Almost immediately, my phone exploded with texts and calls. My mom called me selfish. My dad stayed quiet. And Lily. She called me a jealous, bitter loser who couldn't stand to see her happy. I blocked them all. That June, while they scrambled to put together a cheaper trip without me, I boarded a plane to Cancun. 2 weeks of turquoise waters, lazy afternoons by the pool, and seafood dinners under the stars. Meanwhile, my family's trip unraveled quickly. On the second day, Mark disappeared from the hotel bar with another woman. Later he came back screaming, shoved my dad, and stormed off, after draining their credit cards. For once, it wasn't me picking up the pieces. When I returned from Cancun, tanned and relaxed, my phone was flooded with messages. My mom's text read, "Emergency. Please call. We need you." Against my better judgment, I did. She burst into tears as she explained how Mark had cheated, humiliated them, and stolen thousands. They were stranded, broke, and desperate. "Amber, please," she begged. "We need money for the trip home." I took a deep breath. "Mom, when I needed you, you sided with him. You dismissed my pain. Now you want me to save you." "No." Her sobs turned to anger. "We're family," she snapped. "No," I said quietly. "Family doesn't choose an abuser over their daughter. You made your choice." I hung up and blocked her number. The calls kept coming. Relatives, friends, even co-workers saying my family had shown up at my office, begging me to reconcile. But I was done being their crutch. Weeks later, I heard updates through my cousin Jamie. My dad had high blood pressure from the stress. My mom picked up extra shifts at the library. And Lily moved back home, heartbroken and depressed. The money Mark stole was gone, the bank wouldn't reimburse them, and they were left with nothing but regret. Did I feel sorry for them? Little. But then I remembered Lily's smug smile, my mom's dismissal, and my dad's silence. Sympathy didn't erase betrayal. Meanwhile, my own life was thriving. My boss promoted me to senior director, and with the raise, I treated myself to the designer shoes I used to feel guilty about buying. I started dating casually, joined a yoga class, and even began painting again, something I hadn't done since college. For the first time, I lived without guilt. No more late-night calls for money. No more pressure to fix everyone else's mess. Just me. Months later, a letter arrived in my mailbox. It was from my mom. 4 handwritten pages, apologizing for everything. She admitted they had been blind, manipulated by Mark, and too dependent on me to see the truth. "We should have believed you," she wrote. "I hope one day you can forgive us." I folded the letter and put it in a drawer. I wasn't ready to respond. Maybe I never would. Now, when I wake up in the morning, I sit on my balcony with a cup of coffee and watch the sunrise over the city. My life isn't perfect, but it's peaceful. I've built something I never thought I'd have, a life that belongs to me. My friends like Kelly have become my chosen family. My career is thriving. I travel when I want, spend my money how I choose, and finally understand that putting myself first isn't selfish. Do I miss my family? Sometimes. Do I wonder if I'll ever call the number my mom left at the end of her letter? But forgiveness isn't owed. It's a choice, and if it ever happens, it will be on my terms. Not because I'm guilted into it. The truth is, my family's betrayal taught me something invaluable. Love without respect isn't love at all. Family bonds may be important, but they are not a free pass for cruelty or dismissal. I used to believe being the good daughter meant sacrificing myself for everyone else. Now I know the truth. Being strong sometimes means walking away. And that's the moral of my story. Sometimes protecting yourself means setting boundaries, even with family. It's not about revenge, it's about survival. It's about saying, I deserve better. So if you're listening to this and you've ever felt like you're drowning under the weight of other people's expectations, let my story be a reminder. Your worth isn't defined by how much you give or how much pain you endure for others. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself.